decide on a calm day so you can publish on a busy one, right? When your brand rules and templates live inside Canva and your routine is like muscle memory, you don't need willpower anymore. You just need a quiet 5 to 20 minutes to get a post out. Welcome to the Creative Bodega, a podcast about content marketing, Instagram growth, and personal branding for female service-based solopreneurs who want to grow their business without letting it take over their lives. I'm your host, Em Connors, and each week I'll share actionable tips, expert advice, and unfiltered truths to help you create engaging content, connect authentically with your audience, and turn followers into loyal customers, all without the burnout. If you're ready to simplify your content creation, navigate the ever-changing trends, and build a business that works for you while staying sane in this crazy season of life, then you're in the right place. Welcome back to the Creative Bodega podcast. Today, I'm sharing why your visuals should speak before your caption does, honestly, and a simple do this now system to make creating and publishing so much faster. By the end of today's episode, you'll have a visuals first routine that cuts creation time to about 20 minutes per post and makes your brand recognizable at a glance. And that's honestly one of the biggest compliments I can get on Instagram when people say, I know it's your post before I even see the handle name or anything. Your vibe, your visuals are so recognizable and so you, and they draw me in. And I know they're yours. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I think that's just really cool. And I think that that's something that just elevates somebody's brand or makes it more legit, to be really honest, is to have that distinct look and feel to your visuals. Because I don't know about you, but when I land on somebody's Instagram account and I go, or actually not if I land on their account, if one of their posts comes across my explore page or whatever, and I land on their feed or their grid, I judge. I do that 5-second audit of the bio. Is this for me? Is this somebody I want in my world? I scroll down. I look at the last 4 lines of posts. Is there a vibe? Is there a look? Is there a feel? Can I tell where the value is? I'm judging, right? And I'm going to make a decision if I'm going to follow or not. So yeah, I actually think visuals really do matter as much as people want to say that they don't. But a quick truth to kick us off here is that on Instagram right now, your visuals, they don't need to be polished and perfect. And in fact, I feel like people kind of don't love that vibe right now. The super buttoned up, agency level kind of graphics. I think you can pass on those. I think what's working is a more casual, laid back aesthetic. Thinking screenshots or quick mock-ups or hand-drawn elements, handwriting type fonts, and real-life photos over brand photos, to be really honest. I'm finding that I'm really only using my brand photos in presentations now, and maybe small areas, small pictures, or as cutouts on my graphics, less so than taking up the whole, design. So even creators who never touch Canva, they have a consistent look and feel and vibe. They're using the same fonts. They're using the same look of their photos. They're using the same spacing. Here's the key. The casual doesn't mean careless. And that's what I really want to stress. You still need a vibe. You still need a look that people recognize before they even read a single word, okay? And that recognizable vibe is what's going to set you apart from the sea of other sameness posts out there. So today I'm going to show you how to keep that relaxed feel, but make it cohesive so that your visuals speak first, your captions work second, and you create content a lot faster. So this is a very practical best practices episode. I'm going to anchor everything in the real struggles and wins of my signature program alumni. So you might have heard of my signature program. It was called the Insta Canva Collective. I am renaming it, very likely to the visual edit. By the time this episode comes out, I will have a brand new name. I just put a poll out yesterday and it looks like the visual edit is winning. So basically I'll have two signature programs, the visual edit, which is all about the visuals and creating and content faster in Canva and being super organized over there and having just a system for creating your visuals. And then the messaging edit, which is all about the copy, the words, and making sure that they're really clear and compelling. So, soft reminder here, this is the exact flow that we're going to build inside the visual edit. And again, that is my once per year program. It launches in January of 2026, around mid-January, and definitely hop on the wait list. I do expect spots to go quickly, just like the messaging edit did. That sold out in 24 hours. Check the show notes for that link for sure. All right, let's start with the heart of it. Why visuals first and why it matters to your business. Your visuals should speak before your caption does. Your visuals are what's going to stop somebody's scroll before your caption or your words do. That doesn't require perfection, but it does require recognizability. So the casual lived-in look is totally in. You just want to make it repeatable. So when your vibe is consistent, people clock you in half a second. Your trust climbs and your posts get read instead of being scrolled past. And I see it over and over. When students nail their visuals, and by nail, I mean they decide on a few non-negotiable rules and reuse them. Confidence is the first thing that jumps, okay? Then they post more, their engagement goes up, and the sales follow. And the wild part is that content creation time gets reduced by half, if not more, once all your systems are in place. So let's make that your reality, okay? To structure today, I'm pulling straight from the themes of my alumni responses to their intake form. Y'all know I love a good Google intake form. Before anybody starts a live hands-on program with me, I love to hear what your biggest struggles are. And that way I can honestly shape the program and make sure that I address all of them and help you find a solution. So the core themes of most of my alumni before they took the visual edit, formerly the Insta Canva Collective: overwhelm, inconsistency, time drain, low engagement, and confidence dips. So for each theme, I'll share quick alumni sound bites or quotes from them, and then I'll give you the do this now solution. Okay. So keep your notes app handy or a piece of paper and a pen so you can jot down the rules you're going to adopt. And remember, you can find all the show notes for this episode over at thecreativebodega.com/blog/42. All right. Theme number 1, overwhelm, and where do I even start? So my former alumni, Amy, said overwhelm and confusion with how and where to begin. And then Tyler chimed in, everything felt overwhelming. I had no clue how to use Canva. And hi, if that's you, you are so not alone. Most solopreneurs don't need more inspiration. They need a starting line and fewer decisions, okay? And that's what I teach and preach inside my program. So here's the fix. You want to find the minimum viable brand kit, okay? Decide these once so you can publish on busy days. Number 1, your fonts. You honestly need 2. You need 2. You need a headline and you need a body font. And if you want to get crazy, you can add in a subheading, okay? And the subheading could be something more fun, like a handwriting or a scripty font. Your subheading isn't used as much. It's used in small areas. We're not going to use a script font for a full-on headline. I want your headline font to be something incredibly legible and something that is recognizable and going to stop people's scroll. Your body font should be incredibly legible and quite boring, to be honest. 2, you're going to pick your colors. Pick 3 to 5 or 3 to 6. You're going to choose that 1 or 2 primary colors, the ones that you're going to use the most. They typically tend to be lighter colors for me or more neutral colors. You're going to pick a couple supporting colors. Those can be just darker versions or lighter versions of those 2 primary colors to keep it super simple. 1 neutral, I use an off-white that I absolutely love. It's got like a pink undertone. And 1 accent if you love a pop. So for me, that's like that neon-y yellow color, which I love. But I only use that in small areas, okay? Number 3, some logos, right? And honestly, I barely use these, but I do think that people need, you need a logo here or there. So 2 versions, a full one and then a very simple mark or a simple image is going to work. It's going to work wonders, okay? And then for a photo style. So pick a lane of how you want your photos to feel or look. Is it, clean screenshots? Is it like minimal mock-ups? Is it lifestyle images? Are you using a certain filter for these pictures? And yeah, is it maybe headshots with consistent kind of crop look? Is it cutouts of yourself with maybe like that white border that's so in right now? So again, the minimum viable brand kit is your fonts, your colors, your logo mockups, and your photo style. Okay. And then I would add on to that number 5, just your overall vibe for your visuals. Are you funky? Are you more reserved and modern? Are you, scrapbook style? Like what kind of look are you going for? And does it make sense for your brand and what your ideal client would be attracted to? Okay. Because that's pretty important. All right. So then you're going to have a posting map, right? Next, you're going to make a 1-page posting map. You're going to list your content pillars, and I will link an episode in the show notes to a content pillar episode. And then you're going to pick 2 formats for each pillar. Okay. And that's going to give you 6 very reliable post types that you can rotate through. So let's say pillar 1 is visual strategy. And then my 2 post format types would be a carousel and a before and after visual, like 2 different types of posts I could do for that pillar. Pillar number 2, maybe it's Canva tips and tricks, right? The first posting style or format is going to be a reel, and the second one is going to be a step-by-step carousel look. Pillar number 3, maybe it's just promoting my offers and showing how I build a community. So we're going to do maybe a client win or quote and a freebie promotion. So now you have direction, not just ideas. And I swear to God, that is the massive missing piece. And listen, what I just broke down, that's not like Bible. That's not what you have to do, but you do need to take the time to find a strategy that's going to work for you and that makes sense for your brain. Okay. And inside the visual edit, I go over a bunch of different styles of posting strategies that you could use and stick to that I know will increase your engagement and your results. Theme number 2, inconsistency and the posting ghost cycle. So one alumni called herself a former poster and ghoster until the visual edit. And another one said, they had no posting schedule or templates, and they just felt lost and disorganized. If you've ever tried to be consistent, but your feed looks like a patchwork quilt, the solution is to build fewer templates that you actually reuse, okay? So there's core 5 templates that I think everybody needs. What's the concept behind a reusable template? You design it once and you duplicate it forever. Like literally, you can even make it in a couple different colorways, and then that expands your options even more. But I think you need to build these 5 and lock what never changes and stop reinventing the wheel. I'll talk about my biggest mistakes at the end of this episode. But number 1, you need a carousel. You need a carousel. And I actually think you need at least 2 different carousel designs that you love. One could be all graphics, no images, and one could be more image-based so that they look different. So carousel 1 and carousel 2. The third thing you're going to need is a reel cover or 2. Honestly, I'm saying 1, but listen, start with 1, but then you can build, okay? Or you could at least make that 1 template in 2 different colorways, okay? So you need a reel cover. I think you need a freebie or course or newsletter promotional type post or 2. Just assume I mean 2 for all of these. And that is so that you can promote your stuff very effortlessly. Number 5 is that you need a quote or a list type template. So those very like snackable posts, right? List templates for me do really, really well. They're very savable. People don't want to forget. And they are forgettable if you don't save them. So a list post is a great one to add into your roundup. Pro tip, you can lock in the elements that don't change. Again, like you just select something in Canva on your template and you hit the little lock button and it will never move or change. Okay, but then you can change the background color. You can change the text so that, you pop in your new headline or anything like that. But any just recurring elements inside of your Canva design, you can lock them, okay? So that you don't accidentally move them or you don't accidentally change them as you're changing other things. And then you can also star your top templates. So if you create folders inside of Canva and you're adding template designs inside of there, you can click the three dots in the right-hand corner and you can star your designs or pin them. They're either or. Starring will show up on your homepage of Canva, and pinning them will put them at the very top of your folder, which is actually what I like to do so that I always have them at my fingertips. I go right into my Canva folder. I find that template that I want to create. I hit the three dots, I hit make a copy, and then I just start changing everything about it. And now it's already filed in the correct place, and I am just tweaking everything. So if you love like a theme day, a simple cadence for batching could be like Monday, you write your hooks and your words in general. So your calls to action, your caption, your hooks, the words. You come up with the overall themes and messaging and goals for your posts for the week. Tuesday, maybe you design, right? You're duplicating those tried and true templates that you have ready to go inside your folders. Wednesday, maybe you are scheduling all of these in some place like later.com, which is what I use. Thursday, you are working on engaging with other, people in your community and really showing up in stories and building your community. And Friday, you're going to look at kind of what worked that week and maybe what didn't. I have an amazing analytic tracker that I swear by. So I'm not really reviewing much until the end of the month. I just don't like to get in my head about, the likes or the lack thereof. So if theme days feel like a lot, go to 2 days, right? On day one, you write all the words. On day two, you design and schedule, and you call it a day, okay? The magic is in the repetition, not the variety here. Theme number 3, my feed doesn't look cohesive. So Leslie, the visual edit alumni, said, I now have a consistent look and feel and a detailed schedule of what to post and when. And that's the vibe we want, the cohesion without like handcuffs, right? So to do this, you're going to build that brand hub inside of Canva. Your brand kit is you loading your fonts, your colors, you're dropping your logos, or like I use this rounded handle name. So at the Creative Bodega, and I made it to look like a curve and it'll fit like in the corner of my designs. I just love it. So I saved that in Canva as an SVG file. So let's say you open a design and you've got your logo inside of there. You're going to fill it to the entire space. So a logo is typically 500 pixels. 500 pixels by 500 pixels. You're going to grab that logo or that element that you use, like I'm talking about this rounded handle name. You're going to drag it to fill the space. Then you're going to go up to share and you're going to choose to download it as an SVG with a transparent background. Okay. It's going to end up on your desktop. You are then going to open your brand kit and you are going to drag that in as a logo. And now that means you can pop that design into any template that you're working on and you can change the color of it to any of your brand colors, which is super cool. So that's just a side note. Then you are going to make sure that you've uploaded all brand photos that you love using into that brand kit. You can even upload your brand tone of voice inside the Canva brand kit these days. So super cool. And having all of that figured out, I'm telling you, is going to save you so much time. It's like actually insane. Theme number 4, time drain and decision fatigue. So raise your hand if you've ever sat down to make one post and 2 hours disappeared. I'm telling you guys, this happened to me last night. I'm not even kidding. And I'm really good at Canva. So it happens to the best of us. But Barbara, my alumni, put it perfectly. Templates save so much time, and scheduling means I can set it and forget it. That is what I want for all my students. So here's an example of like a 20-minute content creation routine, okay? Minutes 1 through 5, you're going to work on your words, the hook, the call to action, all that stuff that's going to show up on your design. Minutes 5 through 12, you're duplicating that reusable template that you've already designed and love, and you are swapping out headlines, you're swapping out the subtext, and you're swapping out images, okay? It's not a complete redesign of this layout. If you need a different layout, choose carousel A instead of carousel B, right? From your core 5 or 6, but it's still duplication. I am never telling you to start with a blank page. Minutes 12 through 16, you're just looking this over. You're looking at the spacing, you're checking your line breaks, you're making sure the headline is super, tangible and eye-catching, and you're making sure that everything just feels very on brand. I love zooming out to like 25% because when you think about it, people see these images so small. So I like to kind of like either click on the grid view in the bottom right-hand corner of Canva, or I zoom out to 25% and just check that first slide especially, right? Can a stranger understand the promise at a glance? And then minutes 16 through 20, you're just exporting it and you are publishing it right to Instagram or popping it into your scheduler or something like later.com. But this routine's only going to work if you decided on your rules and you built your core 5 or 6 templates, okay? And that's the order: the rules, the templates, and then the routine. Theme number 5, low engagement and confident dips. I mean, I think all of us can feel this to our core. So many of my alumni said some version of this. I felt like a poster and ghoster. I wasn't confident in my aesthetics. I didn't know what feedback or data mattered, okay? And then Kelly, my alumni, shared a turning point. I woke up so excited to create my content for the next 2 weeks because I had a plan and the overwhelm was gone. And that I have a plan energy is what flips engagement. I'm not even kidding. I feel like people can feel when you're slapping together something and you're resentful of the post and you're resentful of the time it took to make it, and you're not even super confident in how it looks or reads. That's not going to get great engagement, right? Versus your colors, your branding is so on point and beautiful and recognizable. You've got these awesome templates that you can reuse. You have a plan of attack and you're putting it out there with full confidence. I think it's going to perform better. I'm not going to lie. So a little engagement checklist that I would love to see you use on every piece of content. Do you have a strong first slide, right? What's the promise in plain words? Do not use fancy words. If the promise is fuzzy, the saves and the shares are not going to happen. Do you have a clear call to action? Every single one of my posts is performing a job. Even if it's save this, right? Or even if it's DM me this word or join the waitlist or comment this, right? Like one clear action. Is there any human face element to it? Like I do try to work in my face into every other post, whether it's me talking in the reel or me as a cutout on top of a carousel image, right? So at least one face in your grid. I'm going to say every 3 posts at a minimum. Okay. People remember people. That's huge. Is there a save-worthy element to this? Is it a list? Is it a mini guide? Is it a template sneak peek? Is it something useful that people will want to save because the algorithm loves to save? And then follow through. I mean, how many people tell me, oh, I don't get any engagement. And then I go and I look and I comment on something and I never hear back from them. I'm like, if you want that engagement, you need to put that out into the world, okay? Comments with warmth and clarity. You train your audience to talk to you. That's what you do. And how do you do that? You always reply in a really thoughtful way. Okay. So some quick wins, a little quick win montage, a few alumni lines that I loved that I got at the end of my program. So again, I give people a Google form inside my programs that are super high touch in the beginning, saying, what's your biggest struggle? And then at the end, I say, tell me how it feels now, right? So these are some quotes. I woke up excited to create content for the next 2 weeks because I have a plan. Templates plus a posting schedule. Set it and forget it. From I want to quit to I can do this, confidence is what I'm feeling now. Creating the brand guide was literally transformational. I've already planned a month ahead. Batching is a huge time saver for me. I'm new to Canva, but now I know exactly what to look for and how to customize templates. Do you feel how that momentum stacks? None of those wins required aesthetic perfection, right? They required a decision about rules and a commitment to reusing them. Some common mistakes that I want you to skip so that you don't slide backwards at any point: starting from scratch every time, like trying to find a brand new template every time you want to post. I'm telling you, It is a massive waste of time. Yes, I retire certain templates and bring on new ones, but for the most part, I'm using those bad boys for 6 to 8 months. I'm not even kidding. You don't have a folder system or pinned templates on your Canva home screen. That is a massive mistake. And that's something we go into in detail. I map out my entire folder system and basically tell you to copy it. Designing before messaging. Okay. So if your hook is fuzzy, your design is going to be fuzzy for people. Okay. So the words, it's a two-part thing, right? And that's why I've created 2 signature programs, one on the visuals and one on the messaging. They are equally as important. But I just find that teaching them both in one massive long program is very overwhelming for people. So that's why I broke it up. Too many fonts or sloppy spacing. Okay. Nothing is going to tank trust faster than wobbly hierarchy when it comes to your fonts. So if you're thinking, okay, but how do I organize this so that my future self isn't cursing me? Let me give you a super simple structure when it comes to organizing your designs inside of Canva. My folders are 3 to 4 levels deep. Okay. So my main folder would be called something like social media. Okay. If you open up that folder or double click on it, you're going to see probably 4 or 5 folders within that. An example is one of them would be carousels. Okay. If I double click on that carousel folder, inside of there is going to be 3 or 4 folders. One would be maybe Canva carousels. One would be font roundup carousels. One would be brand advice carousels. Okay. And then if you click into any of those, it's going to be where the designs live. Okay. So I'm telling you, it's really no more than 3 or 4 levels deep, but it is such a game changer if you are filing your templates accordingly, right? So, and then all I need to do is then go into that folder to find the template I want to use, click the 3 dots and hit make a copy. And then it already lives inside that folder. Okay. It's just so good. I am such a big believer that systems should work on your busiest weeks, not just on the calm ones. And that is why I teach decide on a calm day so you can publish on a busy one, right? When your brand rules and templates live inside Canva and your routine is like muscle memory, you don't need willpower anymore. You just need a quiet 5 to 20 minutes to get a post out. So a little recap, you're going to decide on your rules. Okay. So these are your brand kit rules. And then you're going to build your core 4, 5, 6 templates and locking everything into place that doesn't need to change. You're going to organize your Canva so that your future self can find everything in 5 seconds. And you're going to try and follow that 20-minute routine between developing the hook, duplicating a template, updating the template, exporting it, and publishing it. And then you're going to review that monthly and track what's happening, right? What got saves, what got follows, what got comments, and you're going to just build upon the good stuff. Okay. So every post has a job to do, and your visuals help that post get noticed, understood, and remembered really fast. If this episode felt like a breath of fresh air, or honestly, if it felt like maybe a little overwhelming and like you need some help, that's exactly what we are going to build together inside the visual edit. Your brand rules, your core templates, your filing system, and a publish on busy days routine that is personalized for you and your business. It is insanely hands-on. You will not make a post that I will not see and comment on. It is step by step, and the goal is the same, to build that recognizable brand and the faster path from idea to post. So please join the waitlist for the visual edit. I will put the link in the show notes. Again, it happens 1 time per year. It will be happening in mid-January, very limited number of spots. So hop on that waitlist for first access for that cart open and probably some discounts. I usually can't help myself. So I can't wait to see your visuals speak for you, my friend. Go set those rules, duplicate those templates, and go publish something today. You have got this. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on the Creative Bodega podcast. If you love this episode, please be sure to share it with a fellow solopreneur who could use a little content creation inspiration. And hey, don't forget to check out the show notes for any resources I mentioned on the episode to help you create content that feels easy and actually gets you results. If you want even more Canva and content tips, head over to my website, thecreativebodega.com, or find me on Instagram under the same name. Until next time, keep creating, keep showing up, and most importantly, try and have a little fun with your content. I'll see you on the next episode.